Motion metrics are things that were tracked by every single area in the factory.
It's not something full of statistics and full of jargon.
The motion metric is just tracking the non-value adding activity in an area.
The motion metric reinforces to the shop floor associates how much waste they have to deal with every day, how many unknown, unanswered questions they have, and that they're trying to track down answers for them.
There was too much walking. I'd walk downstairs, I'd walk outside, and I was outside of my room while I was inside.
With the motion metric, they see that they walked 5 miles 2 months ago, but this month they're only walking 4 miles, and hopefully that will be decreasing more and more as these visual systems are implemented in their areas.
Some of the areas did things like the number of times a person was interrupted during the day. That was their motion metric.
Well, I knew there was motion because it would take me sometimes more than a half an hour to find a nut or a bolt.
I left my area in one day, I left my area maybe 30, 40 times.
We were able to see from doing that kind of tracking whether our visual workplace improvements were actually translating to the motion metrics.
Motion is not work, it's moving without working, and that's what we need to eliminate.
Before we did any of that, it was just stressful. You're trying to get a job done. I like to get something done real quick.
I discovered that I travel a long ways in a short period of time. I think when I wore it, on average about a mile a day. And I did not, under any circumstance, realize I traveled that far.
Motion metrics is very important to the process, because if you don't have motion metrics, then you really don't have a good idea of how well the process has improved. Visually, you could see that the area has improved, but has it really improved the process? And the only way to know that is to get some sort of motion metric before and after.
And a motion metric is just tracking the non-value adding activity in an area.
My motion metric was, or for the department was, how many times an engraver fabricator had to get up from his workstation and move to another part of the department.
We were really wasting hours searching for things.
I think it might have been 20 times a day.
Most of the wasted motion in the picking operation was looking and searching for product or for supplies or whatever. So it would be an interruption.
And afterwards, we saw that we were able to change the number of interruptions from, let's say, 16 a week down to 3 or 4 a month.
We're able to cut down the number of interruptions on a daily basis.
But once you start writing it down, you realize, man, look at all this wasted motion. And one day, I left the department 20 times. That I did not realize that I was actually leaving the department to get this tool or get paperwork for it.
Yeah, I wore it one day and I walked 4 miles that day. I couldn't believe it.
I have done the motion metric since we done the change, and I've had to leave 2 times from my production area, but it was not to get a tool, it was to get paperwork that someone else forgot to put with it.
I'm going to put that pedometer on next week and measure just to see how much motion I have saved.